Hey Starcrafters, Wookie here, and here's another one of my ladder games. This is on Typhon Peaks. I am the blue Protoss who forgets to move all of his probes. We can see right here. Awesome possum. And my opponent is Dunrabbit, the red Terran. He wishes me good luck and that I have fun. This is what I thought was a good game up until a certain point, and after watching the replay I realized it wasn't quite as good as it could have been, and I want to kind of demonstrate why that is. So starting things off, we're going to go at ×4 speed here because it takes a while to get set up. We both scout the wrong direction, which is always cool. Eventually get there though and start poking around. We can see I decided to take my probe and hide him down here while Dunrabbit goes pretty standard opener, not doing any proxy. Watch this though. Oh, hey, that's a good hiding spot on that map if you ever care to exploit it. This Marine does eventually see that probe and kill it though. Back in my base, we're getting a lot of money already, and just going with the standard gate cybernetics core, add a couple of gates. And here I try to spend my money real quickly, so I start laying down a bunch of stuff. But 3-gate robo with a forge, and got a lot of money. I have been working on chrono boosting out probes and getting my economy going, and I think I got it down because I can't spend money fast enough lately. So I got to figure out what I'm not spending my money on. Get the production tab for you. We see stim and cloak and a banshee coming from my opponent, who got himself an early starport. So adding a 3rd barracks. And here's that first banshee. Let's slow things down. I don't know if you noticed that, but the banshee floated in just as my cannons were finishing, so it was detected and got itself blowed up. The second banshee already on the way, and that inspires me to go on a cannon building bender, if I recall. I think a little micro was involved in this second banshee here. Yeah, he flies it around to the north. I was thinking about taking a poke and then saw it, so I'd start chasing it down. I've set up an observer over here to kind of keep an eye, but the cloak engages here, so I have to run my units away until he gets too close to one of these cannons. And he decides to park himself over here and attack my robo bay, which is got an observer being built. We should see a chrono boost on that pretty soon. Another banshee on the way. So there's the chrono boost. I know the observer will be popping out pretty quick, so the stalkers come over. And thank you for playing. This one gets into the base. Cloak engaged, and cannon sees and dead. So that was some pretty serious banshee harassment. Now, in my experience on the Bronze League, when someone starts off with a banshee harass, that's all they're gonna do. Like, they're gonna banshee harass, and then they're probably gonna go like Marine Marauder tank on one base, and or try to get Thors on one base, and it's not gonna go real well. So if we look at my vision, that's kind of what I see here. I mean, I know there's a starport. I don't have a good look at it, but I'm seeing a factory with, you know, the thing there and this there and this, and I'm like, okay. He made a lot of SCVs. I'm gonna sneak me a transport back here and warp in some whatchamajiggers, you know, get some zealots in the back, and I'm just gonna clean this up, and it's gonna be awesome. So I move these guys here because I figure once that goes down, I can push the ramp on him. But look at my money. I'm up at 800. And he starts making ravens and sensor towers, so like now my transport is seen. He knows it's there. I'm like, oh, that sucks. So I put down a Twilight Council, and then when I went to click on blink, I didn't have enough gas, so I went away to do something else, and then I never came back and clicked blink. I still only have 3 gateways. Getting myself supply blocked at 74. I'm dropping a Nexus. I have 1,500 minerals. When he moves out, and I'm just outclassed here. The point defense drones, the stim, and I even had proxies because I was going to start warping in over here, but he pushed out at a good time, and you know, I had shift clicked my transport around to try to take a sneak around this way, and it totally got intercepted, so that was horrible. I just lost my entire army. If we look at the units lost tab, it's pretty bad. He takes out those 2 pylons, and suddenly I've lost like 1,700 more minerals worth of units than he has. I'm just getting my base underway, and he just landed his. That was why he moved everything out here. And so I crank out a couple more observers to try to keep an eye on him, but he's got ravens, and look at all those mules, all that energy saved up. Units wise, I'm pretty seriously outclassed here. And he captures a 3rd. So this guy used Banshee Harass the proper way, in that he forced me to get a lot of cannons down. Look at how many cannons I built. That's kind of a crutch I have. And now I'm here, and I've got so few units, and I'm stockpiling so much money. I decide a way to knock down the money is to just put the cannons up, and I know I need defenses because my units are so sparse, because I still only have 3 warp gates and forgot to research Blank. I'm not upset about it though. So the cannons come in just in time. Here he is, parked on my ramp, and I got just enough cannons. Of course you can see I've added 2 Nexuses, but they're not mining yet. Is it Nexuses or Nexi? I always want to say Nexuses. More point defense drones. Ravens always fly right into the battle and get killed. That's kind of, you know, you box, you drag, you A, you click, and all of your ravens and medvacs die and whatnot. But here you can see I had just a couple of immortals left at the end of this thing, and it was brutal. And I'm going to pause it right here. We're going to look at the units. I guess we were looking at the units. I have 2 immortals. He has 2 marauders, a tank, 3 marines. You know, just a little bit. We look at the units lost tab. I am at 8,200. He's at 6,500. It's just not going well for me, and at this point in the game I know I am super far behind. And what am I going to do? I finally, where did all my money go? I don't know what I just did to get rid of my money, but there we go. That's what I did. I threw down 2 more gateways. I'm getting, well, I got armor 1 and weapons 1 for the ground units, but already Dunrabbit is streaming units over for another push. Now he did pretty well for himself. Look at this. If I had known that was going on, actually I say if I had known that was going on, there's nothing I would have done about that, because what can I do about that? But once these start kicking out units, it gets ugly. But here he made a push, I made a desperate attempt at a defense. I'm just warping in stalkers and immortals, trying to anyway. You can see I've stockpiled a lot of gas. Dunrabbit has a ton of money, 5,000. He probably dumped a bunch of mules again. He's super saturated. You know, I'm getting going over here, but not making a lot of probes. I mined out my main pretty quickly. Just transferred everything up here. So I could have better probe distribution, but I was leery to send these to transfer them because I didn't know if he had this tower or what was going to be going on, and I didn't feel like I could stretch myself out and go take a look. So I was kind of just sitting, which, you know, comment below, tell me what I could have done better. But here's the part where I mass up a bunch of units, and he masses up a bunch of units, and then at this point, I thought we were fairly close, but it turns out we weren't really close at all, because point defense drones are completely imbalanced, and as soon as I'm done casting this, I'm on the forums bitching about them, because man, did you see that? That was disgusting. But really good use of barracks here by my opponent, Dunrabbit. He got these down. I would prefer to see them rallied, and there he goes. Now they're rallied way over here. So good work by him to really mass up some units. He still has a ton of money. He could have done so much more, but that ain't bad for you know, given that we're in the Bronze League here. He's got 54 Marines. I have an Immortal and 6 Zealots. I mean, the game is over. And actually, I think I lost it up here when I lost that first army. Maybe when I failed to build more gateways. But I used my money to warp in a bunch of Zealots. And this is all I'm mining from. He just blew the ever-loving holy crap out of that. He comes up here and makes super short work of this. So I got no base here. Mined out here. I'm just now warping one in over here because I managed to sneak away. At this point I realize I got to me no money. So the Zealots just go on a runabout. Meanwhile, you know, death and destruction over here. Nice kiting. I had not even looked at this. I just put these guys on attack click, and he kited them a long way. Not that there was anything else I could have done, but I was over here warping in more Zealots to take out his expansion. But these sensor towers, by the way, really frustrated me because I couldn't sneak in. One of the Protoss strengths is the warp gates, and being able to be anywhere on the map at a moment, you know, just by warping in. And these sensor towers really limit your ability to sneak probes, to sneak your transports in and get a surprise warp in on him. So you Terran players out there, if you're having trouble with your Protoss, go for the sensor tower, man. It really limits what you can do. You end up trying to skirt around the edges, and it is much easier to hold your perimeter. So I even gave him the well played. I always try to good game. I'll even good game you after the game if you leave without GGing. But there's a well played and a well deserved well played, I think, because I made the improper assumption at the start of the game that I had a Banshee harass noob who didn't really know what to do, but Dunrabbit proved me wrong on that count. So if there's anything to learn here, maybe it's that you should build sensor towers against Protoss opponents to avoid backdoor warp-ins, and you should watch your own damn Bronze League lesson videos on making enough buildings to spend your money early in a game so you don't get overrun and caught with no units. So I am Wookie. I wish you guys the best on your ladder. Good luck, have fun, and we'll come again with something else in a little bit.